Okay, so the last time we talked about the three branches of government, okay? The U.S. Constitution was written to make sure that every part of the government fit into one of those three different parts: judicial, executive, or legislative, okay? But while the writers of the Constitution were busy making that, they also realized, yikes, we don't want one branch to become more powerful than another branch. So to make sure that one branch doesn't have too much power, each branch checks and balances or limits what the others can do. And I'm about to show you this, okay? This is kind of fun to watch because you think like, ooh, the president, he or she can do whatever they want. Not so fast, okay? Or, ooh, the legislative branch can make laws about whatever they want. Not so fast, okay? So let me show you how checks and balances works. Let's start with the executive branch, okay? We remember that the executive branch carries out laws and it's led by the president, okay? Now, the president, he's got a lot to do. He or she has a lot to do, but he or she can also do a couple of things extra, okay? So let's come over here. Let's take a look at the legislative branch. Remember, they make laws and they're led by Congress. And they make laws. That's what they do. But the president can look at the law and go, you know what? I don't really care for that. I don't like that law. I don't think that's great. And I don't want to carry it out. So I'm going to veto that law. That means get rid of it. Psh, can't happen. All right. Well, the legislative branch, remember, is full of people. There's 435 representatives and 100 senators. They've made a law, they passed it, they send it to the executive branch to be passed. The president says, nope, vetoed. Well, the legislative branch can come back together and say, you know what? We disagree with the president, and they can override the president's veto, meaning they can say, we throw out your veto, we're passing this law. Okay, so you can see how they're checking and balancing each other there. All right, let's see what the legislative branch can do to the judicial branch and vice versa. Okay, the legislative branch makes laws and it's led by Congress. And we learned that they vote on the judges that sit in the judicial branch. Okay, the judicial branch interprets laws and they're led by the Supreme Court. So even though the president nominates certain judges, the legislative branch votes on the judges, okay? But the judicial branch can turn around and say, you know what? Our job is to interpret the law and make sure it matches the Constitution, it follows the Constitution. We think you guys passed a law that doesn't match. So we're gonna say, no, we're striking down that law, and they can keep a law from moving forward. Okay? Now let's see how the judicial branch can check or balance the executive branch, okay? If they can keep a law from moving forward, okay, that can go all the way back to the president. The president's the one who has to carry out the laws. They can keep a law from moving forward. But remember, the executive branch is the one who nominates the judges that sit there, okay? So even though this graph kind of looks like a big mess, it looks like a big tornado, these are the different ways that the different branches of government make sure that they check and limit what the other branches are doing so one branch doesn't become overly powerful. Okay, and that one vocabulary word we want to focus on this week is legislator, which is a person in government who makes laws. Okay, your teacher would like you to continue reading page 100, checks and balances, answer questions 2 and 3 on page 101, and then learn a little bit about tables on page 102 and answer questions 1 through 4.